Hey everyone, we're live. I'm Madalyn Sklar, and you are in our live stream. This is something new we've been experimenting. Instead of doing spaces on X, we've opened this up as a live stream. We're doing this on X, on Facebook, and on YouTube right now. So welcome to this new community live stream I started where we are going to discuss social media and AI things that I come across that I think are just great topics of discussion. You know, it's so easy for us to get overwhelmed with all this stuff. There's just so much information. It's too much. We get overloaded. And so my mission has always been to help people work smarter, not harder. That's what I've been doing for decades in all the different work I do in digital marketing, social media, coaching, consulting, all the different things. And I just love in 2025, here we are in a new year, and I love this new live stream format. So I hope everybody likes it. I even have a special guest today. I have Jason from Bunsen and Beaker. Man, you've been one of our regulars in our Twitter Smarter chat. Then it became X, and it was our X Spaces, and I changed it to Learn with Madalyn. Now with social media and AI shortcuts. You've been with me for a while, Jason, through all of the iterations of the Madalyn Sklar brand. And I'm so excited you're able to come and hang out with us on screen today. How are you?
I am good. Yeah. And I'm happy to be here. Early when I started, you were a wealth of knowledge, which was really awesome. So I'm always happy to listen in when I have time.
Yeah. And I know you're such a busy guy. Y'all have so much going on. Tell everybody about like all the things you do.
Oh man, do you have 3 hours? I have a day job. My wife and I are both teachers. I'm a chemistry teacher, and my wife is a math teacher. We both teach high school, so that's our day job. And then on the side, we have, which started quite by accident, and now it's grown to be quite the thing. You know, not millions of followers, but we've got a very large social media following on a bunch of platforms where with our dogs, and through our dogs, we communicate science with a lens of empathy, cuteness. So we get people in with the cute content and the kind content, and then we teach people about science. So it's a sneaky way to educate the public.
You've got like a lot of followers on social media. You started coming to my spaces several years back on X, and I was just wowed by how many followers you had just on the X platform. And I love that you're like me. You're always eager to learn more, even though you have so many followers. When you're at a certain level, people just automatically think of us as experts because we have so many people that pay attention to us. But, you know, in my case, I've been on X since 2008. So, you know, it took me a long time to build up to have over 100,000 followers. I mean, it's a lot of work, but but like for me, being somebody that teaches social media, it's kind of more expected that people see us have a lot of followers. You have social media about dogs, and it's amazing that you have a niche that is huge. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. So our main account is still on Twitter or X. And we're close to 200,000 followers, which is bananas. I still have to pinch myself some time. And then of course we've got our Meta accounts, which was the focus of last year. And they're creeping up there too. And we've got a TikTok with over 100,000. So yeah, the niche is odd. Like, dog accounts are huge, right? Animal accounts are a big deal. Maybe for people who aren't listening, you're not in that algorithm, but that algorithm is enormous. People like to come on social media and look at cute content. But there's also a huge part of social media around teaching. And you know this, Madalyn, because you teach social media skills. But there's also huge parts of social media about just educating the public about science or being a science communicator. And our accounts mash that together. Yes, people get goofy and adorable videos of our meathead, shrimp-brained puppy Bernoulli and his war with Ginger, our cat. But we also just recently, I just did a video with them the other day where we talked about the Parker probe, which is this NASA probe that is going really, really close to the sun and getting a whole bunch of really cool data about the corona and the magnetic sphere and all that kind of stuff, which affects our GPS on Earth.
Well, y'all are always sharing a ton of information on your social media, but I also love that you're always learning and experimenting with social media. And when you come on my chats over the years, like you're always so happy to share because I'd be like, "Hey, how are you doing this thing? Like you're just killing it with this thing, or you're using this feature. How's that going?" And I love that you're always trying things to help your social media work better. That's just, I love that. I see Cindy Lou made it here. Hey, Cindy Lou, all the way from New Zealand, where it's
Hey,
tomorrow.
good morning.
Happy 2025,
Happy
man.
2025. What a great year. Great way to start the year.
I know. I love that I've adjusted course and turned this into a live stream. I'm really loving this format. I think this is better suited for my style of all the things I want to share. I mean, I'm able to just like show, like, which we'll do in a little bit, like show on the screen, like, here's a cool article. Let's talk about this. Here's some video snippets. And what's great about this is that I am constantly paying attention to like what's going on in social media, what's going on in AI. I mean, social media more in AI, but I'm fascinated with AI and I want to share the things I come across. But like this morning, Maury Smith, the leading Facebook expert, Meta expert, was on the social media marketing podcast. With Mike Stelzner. And I was listening to it this morning while I'm out walking my dog. She shared so many great nuggets of information for Meta that will help so many people in our community. So I just went and got the timestamps of all the stuff on the YouTube video version of the podcast. And it's like, I just can't wait to like share some of these great nuggets and then chat with you all, whether you're on screen. So I appreciate Jason and Cindy Lou being on screen. Our regulars can come on screen. You have to reach out to me though ahead of time and let me know so I can give you the special link. But everybody else, you're in the comments. You can chat. You can share your thoughts. I would love to talk about this stuff because I don't want to keep this information to myself. When I uncover this stuff, I want to share it with everybody. But I'm also hoping in this community, people in the community will share stuff they come across as well. So that's why I want to real quick let everybody know that I do have a Skool community set up for us for social media and AI shortcuts. It's real easy. You go to Skool, skool.com/Madalyn Sklar. It's free. It's private. So it's not like our posts are there for the public to see. But if you're a member, we all can see it together. Let me show y'all real quick. So, I mean, this is it. This is just, it's kind of like a Facebook group, but I think way better. And I've got so much information in here already, just different things I come across. I mean, I came across the other day, this ChatGPT prompt guide. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So I added the PDF. I got all these just different things I uncover. And what I love about this is it's a way for me to continue this weekly discussion. Because, we come on here, I've been doing this Thursday, 1:00 Eastern for an hour for almost 10 years. It's going to be 10 years in, I think, July, where it started off as the Twitter Smarter, old school Twitter chat. Then it became Spaces. We did Spaces. I even did Facebook Live for a bit as like an extra, like a bonus thing. I used to do the Twitter Smarter chat, and then later we'd go over into Facebook Live because I wanted people to see the power of going live on Facebook, and that was so much fun. And then it transitioned into Learn with Madalyn last year, and now is social media and AI shortcuts. I really like this direction I'm going in. I've been loving all the feedback from everybody. So y'all be sure if you're tuning in, go check it out. I'll just keep the ticker on the bottom here so y'all can see skool.com/Madalyn Sklar. But I've got just things for us to discuss. I'm hoping that Barb's able to join us because she had a really interesting article that she shared on X. So I think I'll hold off on that and wait until hopefully she'll be here because I want to hear her take because she's the one that shared it, but also, hear from you all with that. But I think first I'm going to just start with, let me pop this on the screen here. So I did this post. This is just really funny. I love this. I did this post yesterday and I said, hey friends, did you know I have a new online community I just started? Be sure to sign up. It's free and a great way to stay connected with me and learn all kinds of things. Here's the link. and I didn't notice I had a typo. So look, I said, oops. I did not notice for like 2 or 3 hours, so it was too late to edit the post. But I basically said, is free and a great way for me to stay connected with me. Like, I didn't even catch that I said it. Like, I meant to say a great way for you to stay connected with me, but I said it wrong. I didn't even notice. So I have my little like, oopsie, I made a typo. And what I love is that I got this great response from Jessica. She says, at least I know you wrote it, and hashtag we all human. So, even though I talk about ChatGPT a lot and AI, and I use Magi a lot because I love Claude as well, and Gemini, I use it to help me, but I don't have it write all my posts. So yes, when you see me put posts up on social media, it's me. So I just thought, I would share that. How are you both using social media? Are y'all using it to help brainstorm ideas, or are you like having it help you write posts? Some people, I know, they're just copying and pasting. Like, I'll use it for ideas, but I'll rewrite it and do little things and tweaks and stuff. I'm not just copying and going, here, let me save myself time and just put up what AI says. Cindy Lou, do you use AI like that at all?
I use AI to like help me come up with quotes and things so that then I can make them into graphics and post them for a couple of different organizations that I help do their social media posts. So yeah, it's really helpful to be able to come up with like 30 posts in less than an hour.
I love that it helps for stuff like that. It just makes everything a little bit easier. And even though you can with AI, put in your persona and you can do so much with it, I still like to keep it more generic and just really as a brainstorming tool. And then, because then it kind of like gives me these ideas like, oh, I didn't think of it that way. Like, I'll have my ideas, but I feel like it expands my ideas that I already had. And I always say it's like my little invisible assistant sitting right here next to me. I love it. Jason, what about you?
Yeah, just 1 second. Can you hear me okay? My connection seemed buggy.
We
Okay.
hear you. You're good.
Yeah, well, I use AI all the time. It's the only way I can do what I do. So my wife Chris and I run a podcast, and now she's one of the hosts. And to break down a science article used to take me like about an hour. Now it takes 5 minutes with the help of ChatGPT. I can take a big science article and have ChatGPT summarize it. Any place where I'm not 100% sure, I go back into the study to double check things. So you always have to fact check it. It's not 100% all the time. But then it can take that large amount of data and bullet point out the talking points. So as a science communicator, that really saves me a ton of time. Yeah, and then the other thing is like you can get it to take a post from Twitter, or X, where we've done like a long form post, and turn it into 7 5-sentence cards for Instagram, because you can't post long posts on Instagram, but you can do it as a carousel. And those are really effective for us to get science communication across. So it's a time saver for us, big time, huge.
It's
I could
amazing how much.
you keep going, but there's like thousands of these.
And Barb made it here. Hey, Barb, how are you? Thank you for joining us. I love your profile picture, by the way. That's really cool.
Sorry,
But-
I have a little problem with my voice today. Can you make it out?
Yeah, we hear you fine. You sound good.
I don't know what happened, but it's very shaky this morning.
Well,
Yeah.
are you feeling okay? Are you good?
I'm okay, but my voice is kind of crackly. I don't have a cold, and
Maybe
I
it's
don't
the
know, it's
weather. There's
just-
a lot of weather changing around the country. I mean, where I live, it's hot, cold, goes back and forth. And,
it's never happened before.
really?
Anyhow, I apologize. I'm late, but
For our regulars that are invited to come onto the live stream here, y'all just can pop in and pop out whenever it works for your schedule. It's all good. But I'm glad you're here, Barb, because I want to talk about this article you shared with us. You shared on your X that I found fascinating. So you did this post a few days ago, and you said, have you encountered any of the 100,000 plus AI generated Facebook pages or Instagram accounts? And you quote posted this article, and I love how you like shared that and tagged me in it, because I'm like, what? I got to go check this out. So yeah, I went over to this Culture Crave, and I was looking at their posts, and then of course I had to go to the article. And did you read the whole article? Do you feel like you can chat with us about it? Because I definitely want to discuss it.
Well, okay, I'm going to try to discuss it. This is not at all what I planned to do because of what happened to my voice. I spent over 2 hours researching after I mean, it really threw me for a loop. Initially, Meta came out with, introduced 28 of them in September of 2023. And I didn't learn that until I followed up on that article, because I'm going, what? I mean, over 100,000 of these that they've unleashed. And knowing that Meta is a publicly traded company, I was particularly nervous because that affects their member numbers as they're telling their shareholders. And so the question is, are they making them all, separating those out, letting us know? And then there's the issue as advertisers, for those of us who pay for advertising and we put in criteria, can we exclude those AI bots that they basically have in there? And so I thought, I'm going to try and find out. 100,000, that's a lot.
It is a lot. It is
an
insane amount.
That's correct. But actually, let me see. I may have to get behind the scenes for a minute to pull it up. I did put all my research on a private blog site that I keep. It's not even open to the public. It's just a research site. And the VP of Meta that's in charge of all that, it was actually quoted in the Financial Times article. And
well, let me read off some of the kind of just the gist of this for our viewers here, just so they get an idea of what this is all about. So Meta has, according to this article that I have on here, Meta confirms that they plan to add tons of AI generated users to Instagram and Facebook. These are going to have bios, profile pictures, and will be able to share content. So let that sink in for a minute. These users will look like real accounts, and they will publish posts. And so all of this is because Meta wants to have more engagement on their platforms. And
sorry, that was me. That was my sound effect. This is a silly sound effect.
That was an interesting sound effect. But they're saying that this priority for Meta is to make their apps more entertaining and engaging, which will include, all this interaction with AI. They're just trying to make utilizing AI to have things be more social. And I find that concerning. I don't know. This just seems. Barb, is this something they've already
absolutely
started
they've
doing?
already done it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It gets scarier. I mean, all of a sudden I felt I was in the Twilight Zone yesterday, and I wasn't even watching any sci-fi or anything, but it totally freaked me out. How about, I'm so sorry about my voice, I've got a good
one. You're all good. You're all good.
I can't, I'm kind of strained in talking, so I don't understand that myself. But what I think I would like to do, if it's okay with you, in the private chat, I'll put a link to those profiles sites that are still active, and so that you could bring them up on screen share, because you'll be fascinated.
Yeah, feel free. And
so here is the thing also, because I am what's called a Facebook power admin, and those are Facebook group administrators that have been tapped by Facebook personnel to participate in programs, before things are launched, and also to give feedback on the application and so forth. And I've been in there a long time. And I thought, number one, how come I didn't hear? How did I miss this news release? I mean, it would have really stunned me a year ago, And and so I started looking these robots up and what they were up to. and I did it from the framing that I'm a group admin and I don't let pages in the majority of my groups, and they actually have blue check marks. Is it okay with you if I put the links in so you could show people? Or
Yeah. Send me.
but,
Just put
I
in the
have
private
that.
chat and I'll share them.
Okay, I'll do that. If you want to chat for a couple minutes,
Yeah,
I'll just go down.
I'm going to read some of the key points on this, and this is great because this is me utilizing ChatGPT. I took the article because it was behind a paywall. I had to just copy and paste the text. But by the way, you can avoid if you saw on the screen, you can avoid the paywall with that archivebuttons.com site, which is what I did. So this is the key points ChatGPT gave me. It said AI characters on social media. So first off, with that, Meta is rolling out tools for users to create AI generated characters with bios, profile pictures, and the ability to post content, aiming to make platforms like Instagram and Facebook more engaging. I don't know about you all, but I want to engage with real people, not bots. I don't think that's asking for much. The next one is expanding AI tools. It says AI assistants can answer followers' questions. New features coming in 2025 include text to video generation for creators. And then competitor innovations. And I think this is a big reason why they're doing this. Platforms like Snapchat and TikTok are also adopting AI for 3D avatars, ad creation, and augmented reality content. I just think it's always this race, right? Like who can do the things first, and then everybody copies them. So it just, we're seeing AI so much now everywhere. It seems like these social media platforms are like, they feel like they got to do it too, or they'll be left behind. And then the risks and safeguards is that concerns include misinformation, which I'm concerned about with that, low quality content, we know that's going to happen, and lack of relatability. Meta plans to label AI generated content to address these risks. Well, that remains to be seen. Like, if they've already been doing this, I don't see anything labeled as AI. So I know with YouTube, if you're using AI generation on your YouTube videos, there is a place where you can check it off, but that's if you check it off. So, I mean, and the last thing, it says vision for the future. AI is central to Meta's strategy for attracting younger audiences and driving engagement across its apps. So that's kind of the breakdown of that article. I mean, Jason, what's your thought on all of this?
This is kooky. This is weird. Like
kooky is a good
are we
word.
gonna have robots talking to robots? What are they gonna like? Bebop boop, bebop bop. Like what? It's just so ridiculous. You have like, we're a real account. We've never bought a single follower. It's super easy to. We get DM'd all the time to buy fake followers. But what do the fake followers do? Like just pad your numbers? What are these fake users gonna do? Post like horrible pictures with with like hard. I think I've seen a few of them in dog accounts. They have like a picture of a dog and the caption is like, it's my birthday. And that's the thing. And it's like the page is just full of these AI posts with the caption saying, it's my birthday, wish me a happy birthday. And it's just a different dog every day that they post. I feel like, and we just block them because they keep trying to like comment on all of our stuff to get people to join their page. That's our realm. So I don't want to swear and I won't. I think it's very, very stupid. So that's just
yeah. Cindy Lou, do you have any thoughts on this? Have you seen any of these? What's your thought?
I have not seen them. It sounds a little bit, not so. And as Jason said, like, what are they going to do? Like, how do you interact with something that is, although I guess with the chat, the chat feature with the AI that you've kind of played with a bit and got some of us to try. Yeah, they do interact and they do talk back. So I don't know where this is going to go. I think that we're already in a place where we don't know what's real and what isn't that's being presented.
Right, right. And I mean, some of this stuff is cool. Some of it is questionable. And to your point, talking about like when I showed and showcased here, you know, me talking to ChatGPT on the mobile app and then turning the camera on and having it see me and interact with me in real time. I came up with this great idea. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to definitely record myself doing this because I think this is, I had this brilliant idea yesterday. I have this like computer tabletop thing I bought so that like I could actually use my laptop when I'm in my recliner. It looks so cool. And it looked like it'd be simple to put together, right? Just something, you know, you buy online and it's like, okay, it comes in a box. I'm thinking, how hard could this be? Until I opened the instruction manual and it's all these pages and it looks very complicated. So I had this idea yesterday. I'm like, wait a minute, let me turn the camera on ChatGPT Advanced Voice and show it and ask it if it could help me. And so I showed all the pages and ChatGPT is like, oh yeah, I can help you. This information is helpful. I can walk you through it step by step. I'm like, really? So I didn't have time to do it yesterday, but I'm like, that will be an interesting experiment when like having that ability with ChatGPT being able to see you through camera and help you do something in real time. I think that's, so I'll report back to y'all and let y'all know whenever I get around to doing it. But so there's some cool things I think with
I
AI.
don't know, Madalyn, I was freaked out enough last week when you were showing and they could see what shirt you had on. I'm not sure.
It's pretty wild. It is pretty wild. It's like, how'd you do that? And notice how ChatGPT didn't really answer that. They just kind of like, I'm like, how'd you do that? It's like, so I'm going to show this first one that Barb sent. So Alvin the Alien. So is this one of these AI accounts on Facebook right now that you shared with me?
These are all, these were included in the initial 28. They had accounts opened in September 23.
These
most of them between September or October. And so when I went to research them, you'll find, I don't think I found any that had current posts. They were all, I don't think I found any. I may have, but from what I recall, they weren't posting currently on Facebook, and I ran out of time to check out their Instagram accounts. But the other thing I saw where people were asking them, trying to communicate with them on their posts, commenting and tagging them. That doesn't work. You have to message them. And that frightened me even more because we have members on that platform who are under 21 years old, and they could be getting that messenger from there, and we don't know what that robot's going to tell them. And especially, I have this one I'm going to give you in a minute. Let me get his thing up there. This dating, it's actually a dating app. A dating AI. And I'm shaking while I'm dropping these links in there and sharing this with you. It's scaring me, I have to tell you.
Well, here's Bob the robot.
Just quickly, that dog account that you shared, Barb, that's the type of accounts that we're dealing with on like a couple daily basis. They have
on Facebook?
On Facebook, yeah. They are trying to get people to join. They have like those posts like that. I can recognize that one right away. It's like a AI dog, and every dog's a different dog. Nobody has that many dogs. And then it's like, what's not to love about this pupper right here? It's engagement farming. Like that's the other thing. I don't know what these platforms are going to do, because a lot of the algorithm goes with, if the creator gets comments on their post, it punches it through the algorithm. And then if you can set up AI to respond to that, that's already boosting the algorithm further.
Exactly.
This one's scary because this looks like a real person. Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that. It's like 14,000 followers. And it says the intro, everybody's grandpa, retired textile businessman who was always learning, messaged me to talk about anything, and then in parentheses, available in the US.
Yeah. All of them say that. There's a thing on transparent. Do their about things. Click on their about, and you will also find that, and it should say page transparency. You can
Yep.
click on that.
Yep.
And it puts it right on there that it is, that they're not running ads and that Meta is responsible for it. But
But it's
okay,
not obvious. It's not obvious though.
okay, right, exactly. And I could just see teenagers having a blast with this. Go on
Right.
down, because I checked I mean, look at the photos, look real
Yes.
without the Meta AI on the photos. You know, Meta was saying they
Look at this.
demanded the AI, remember? And look at me.
That's a video. We
I'm
can-
very upset about this because
You-
what they
there's
did
some
is
talk about
they went through reels and they told all of us this last year, since that September 2023, okay, we want short videos, we want reels, you know, pour it on with the reels and the short videos. And that's what we're getting. And so that's what they're, you know, obviously I think their testing might be over, but the VP, it's too bad you couldn't get him in here to talk with us.
This is from a year ago, though. These posts.
That's
So-
right. That's what I'm saying.
Wow. So these have been among us in Facebook, these AI
Right.
generated profiles, and we didn't even know it.
And Jason is the first one. Now I'm in that, like I told you, I'm in that Facebook run group. In fact, they're having a meeting right now that I purposely did not attend so I could be here with you today. And it was our first session of the year because I'm going to be bringing it up in that group because it's frightening to me. I mean, I love AI. You know that. I've been, you know, just right in the middle of it. But this thing, the news release was there. It was out in the open. It was there. So I said, well, we can't blame them for that. But then again, from a shareholder standpoint, from some, you know, it's like you're telling me you have so many members and then you've got another 100,000 you've stuffed in there. And what are you doing as far as being transparent with the public and saying, I mean, they should have a complete list of everyone they have implemented. And if you okay, just like on other people, you can say photos, videos, and more, right? So on more, they could have put the groups they're in. If Jason, like I said, Jason is the first one I've discovered that actually has it in his group. But the fact is that if they're in groups, they darn well should be putting that making it visible to the general public.
It should be obvious that it's an AI.
On every post, like right next to Carter, it should say AI, like right next to the name.
Right.
Especially that dating app. I mean, that's a real dangerous one.
Yeah, this one's a
He's
relationship
cute guy
coach.
too.
Yeah,
Right.
it says relationship coach. And then right here, hey, want to chat? That's really big. Need dating tips? Oh my gosh, this is crazy, y'all.
On the reel, and check his reels out. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm sorry, I'm an old lady, but and I love technology. I've embraced it, you know, since the 80s. And this blew me away that it was just quietly done. Nobody made any steam out of it. And then this last, you know, on December 30th, we get this post and I'm going, what? You know, and from Financial Times, and they arranged an interview with the VP that's in charge of this AI stuff. So I did, and you talk about ChatGPT. I also used it in researching further. It brought up employees who were involved in these projects. And I mean, I was blown away because some of the stuff that was available publicly, I was absolutely blown away. And I even questioned it on ChatGPT. I said, because it didn't provide me a resource of the name. And so then it came back and did, you know, so they weren't faking it. And so I'm like, this is too much. And I don't know, it really got me wired up. And I was shaking so hard when I would run onto these darn accounts, because the first thing you do, like Brian's an older guy, retired, right? So you click on Brian's profile. There's no AI label on that profile. And you look through that, and I'm thinking just exactly. I mean, there's no way I would message it, but I just don't have the gumption to do that. I used to do those kinds of things. There is no way I would do it, but it's frightening to me.
Yeah, that it really is. Hey, Bez, I'm glad you made it over. Thank you for joining our live stream. We're having a lively discussion about these AI accounts among us on Facebook that we did not know about. So thank you, Barb, for posting this on X the other day and bringing it to my attention. It's like, we got to talk about that today. Definitely keep us posted where this goes, because you definitely got our attention with this, and people are commenting in the live stream about this as well. Everybody's kind of wowed by this. So, hey, Bez, how's it going?
Good afternoon. Today's Thursday.
It's Thursday. It's chat day. Wow, you got like a really cool setup there. Look at you. You're like me, like with the little pro podcast setup.
I try to be just like you, Madalyn. And over the years, I bought one piece of equipment, then it was sitting in the corner. And then Keith Keller one day, like I was talking about all this stuff in the corner. Like I got a Go XLR, I got all this stuff that was just sitting in the corner. And he said, hook it up. And like I bought, I find stuff on sale, buy it, and just it was in there in the corner. And I was using, these for the longest time. So.
Yeah.
But I heard you guys talking about the AI, these totally. There's people that teach how to set those up and make money. There's models. I guess this was a coach, relationship coach, and yeah, they.
It looks real.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's scary. It's scary with this. So yeah, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on this. I mean, I really like AI for like the positive things it could do, but I don't want to be interacting with fake accounts through AI. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think they should disclose, because a lot of platforms now, if you develop content with AI, they ask you just to click a little mark, and I can't remember what platform that does that, but they'll ask you if you develop this with AI, like this image or whatever, they ask that you just let everybody know. And yeah, I'm assuming a lot of these accounts, like I get a lot of even on LinkedIn, like these, I know they're fake accounts. They just sort of have they're all about the same. And anyways, it's not even worth talking about.
Well, we appreciate you being here and being part of our interactive discussion. For anybody watching this, you want to actively participate like this on screen, what you need to do is join our new community over at Skool, skool.com/Madalyn Sklar, is where we're able to keep this discussion going over there for our social media and AI shortcuts. Because when we're here, we're just limited to this 1 hour weekly chat. And I still got other stuff for us to go over, and we're already like spending a lot of time on this. But Barb, thank you for like breaking this down and sharing those links with us so we could see this in action. And keep me posted on this. And I'd love to, as this develops more, keep me posted so we can share this to the community, because it is very, very interesting. So thank you for bringing this to our attention today. I appreciate it. Next up, I want to talk about some interesting strategies from Maury Smith. If you don't know Maury Smith, she's like the Facebook expert. I mean, she has been teaching Facebook for a very long time, but Facebook's expanded, it's Meta now. But she talks about a lot of really great social media strategies in an interview that actually just got released today. And this is why I love doing our get-togethers, a live stream like this, because I uncover stuff pretty much every day. And I love that I can just show y'all, have y'all watch some video clips of this interview Maury did. So we can talk about some of these strategies, really good strategies, and things that can also apply to just social media in general. Some of them are specific for, marketing on Facebook and Instagram, but actually quite a bit of it you can apply to what other platforms you're using. So yeah, this is from the Social Media Examiner. For anybody that's always trying to stay up on anything with social media, be sure to join Social Media Examiner's site. I mean, I don't know if join, but they have a blog. They've been blogging even before blogging was really cool, socialmediaexaminer.com. And they do a weekly podcast, a social media marketing podcast. So this literally came out this morning, and I was like, oh, I'll listen to this while I'm walking my dog, because I love catching new tips and strategies and stuff. And Maury is one of my favorite people. I've met her numerous times. We've spoken at a variety of conferences together, and she's very, very tall. It's not common for me to meet a woman taller than me, because I'm 5'10". I'm pretty tall for a female, for a girl. And she's taller than me. She's very tall, but she's a very sweet lady. She's very kind, very giving with the information she has, and she is like the expert. And I was so excited that she was on the podcast today. So I picked up some really good nuggets I want to play for y'all, and get your thoughts. The first thing she's going to talk about is retention, and I think this is like some really smart stuff. So let's watch this.
Pay close attention to your retention. If you're always doing, 70, 80, 90-second reels, but you're dropping off after the first 20, 30 seconds, well, go ahead and shorten up your messages. If you're making 2 to 3 points, make it like 1 point per reel. And it really has to have tremendous hook. You got those 3 seconds, or it might even be less than that. We'll talk about that in a moment, but just literally a moment in time to hook people's interest. Great thumbnails. Of course, the thumbnails aren't always as critical because the videos are playing automatically, but that compelling hook, educational, inspirational, obviously not so heavy on nonstop promotion or sales, but just having people get to know you and your brand, and humanizing and personalizing. I see this a lot in my own Facebook training programs that
I'm going to stop it here for a moment. But, retention is just one of those things that's so important when you're posting videos. I mean, she was specifically talking about reels on both Facebook and Instagram. Do any of y'all pay attention to retention analytics on any videos, on any, like I'm always looking at them on TikTok and YouTube. Do you, Jason, you're always putting a ton of content out on all the social platforms. Is retention one of the ones that you look at?
Yeah, retention is huge. So when we decided to grow our accounts on Meta, Instagram, and Facebook, I was bad at reels, like making short form video content. My videos are like 5 to 6 minutes long, and people would stop watching after 3 seconds on some of them, and that hurts. You put together a really nice 2-minute video or 3-minute video, and your retention is like 3 seconds, and you can either be offended by that, or it took a bit, but then you realize whatever you're doing is not working. You have to change that so people want to see your message. And yeah, like shorter videos and really good hooks. And sometimes you can't, sometimes you just throw it out there and it works. So occasionally you can have neither of those and it works okay. But yeah, I agree with what the guest is saying there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things that I don't think it's talked about enough with this. And then I'm gonna play this other clip. Is brief, and she's talking about stories on Facebook. But this still applies to the Instagram and others.
I'm also a huge fan of stories. I think it's one of the most underutilized, top of mind, top of feed, visibility, awareness, reach tools. The thing with stories is they're not part of the discovery engine. Your stories only get seen by people who follow you.
So, man, she makes a great point here. So specifically on stories on Facebook, she thinks it's like I listen to her, she knows what she's talking about. So she thinks they're underutilized. When the experts are saying something's being underutilized on social media, go be doing it, because it's something that will probably work well for you because others are not doing it and the platform is encouraging it. But also that it's not the algorithm deciding if people follow you. We're in a day and age that you post stuff, doesn't matter how many people follow you, they're not going to usually see your stuff. Everything is like TikTok's For You page, right? Everything is about, let's just show your stuff to strangers, people that don't know you. And that's good, right? To get you more people. But what about all the people that do follow you? They don't always see your stuff. So it's good to know that on Facebook stories that it will always be available to be viewed by people that follow you. I think that's a really important message there. Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
When I have time, I do stories, and like the data is pretty shocking. We have subscribers on Instagram, and all our stories are viewed at 50%. So 50% of our subscribers watch our stories, which is enormous when you think about that, right? And sometimes our stories will outperform other content. We get thousands and thousands of views on our stories. And you can put links in there. You can get people to go buy your stuff. They're really, really powerful for marketing.
Yeah. Laurie makes a great point here. He says, I rarely watch stories on Insta and never on Facebook. I guess I'm in the minority. Honestly, I don't really watch them either, but they're always front and center. I always see them all around. I'm just not always clicking on them, but I know a lot of people do. And that is a popular way to market is utilizing that. So I don't know. Cindy Lou, do you have any thoughts on this? It's okay if y'all don't. I just want to make sure if anybody wants to share any thoughts.
No, it just sounds like I better start using stories. That's my thought.
Barb, do you have any quick thoughts on that?
I don't know if it's an aging thing or what, but this last year with all of the quick stories and the short videos, they really got to me. And I just got to where I now scroll over them. I don't even pay attention to them. And I thought, why are you doing this? And it's like, because in my mind, because I built community online for decades, it's not building community. It's, hey, look at me. And just to grab attention. And what does that do? I mean, you drive through cities that are towns that are abandoned all over the country, and you're wondering what happened. It's because they didn't have the focus. They didn't bring them in. I mean, if Jason has a 50% viewing, he's doing other things. It's not just, I mean.
We got to be doing other things. I mean, the way I see it working for anybody here is it needs to be part of your overall plan.
Right.
People they need to get to know, like, and trust you first.
Exactly.
That's a great tool to do that. So you still got to have other things, but by utilizing videos like that, you can, like, people get to know, like, and trust you. Video is a great way to it's transparent, right? You can't be hiding behind a fake profile where people are going, is that AI? Because now, people are going to start questioning that. Is this an AI profile or is this real? Well, when you're doing video, although some of the video I've seen that's AI generated is scary.
Maybe
There's some scary ones. That Sora. Oh my gosh, I was playing with that Sora from OpenAI the other day. Ooh, man, I tell you, it still looks like AI, but it's drastically improved. I want to show this other short clip where she talks.
Before you go there, I have a question for Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So Jason, what Barbara said was true. Like, you must be doing something else. So are you sending people from your stories to longer form posts, or are you simply doing short form just to get your message out?
Like, the stories are what we use the stories for is like candid, like not curated photos of behind the scenes type stuff. Marketing, so links to what we, what's going on our we're selling, basically. We don't have a YouTube account, so that would be, a great way to send people from your story to YouTube. We don't do that. No.
But sorry about that. On my laptop, I can't see you at the bottom of the thing. I didn't even realize you were back. So I'm so sorry. It only shows this first row. I'm like, what? It's like, oh, there he is. So if that happens again with anybody, just in the private chat, just say something. I'll see that there's a message in there. My good friend Deborah says, I like stories and reels as a discovery feature. A lot of people see them and go to your page, especially Facebook and Insta. So great point, I think. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, one thing that's really cool that on Instagram is that when people comment on your reel, you can hold on their comment and turn that your reel into a story, and then their comment is front and center. It is so good to do that to build community on Instagram. So you can highlight comments from people, and they're like, "Ooh, you picked my comment."
Right. TikTok does that too. I love
Yeah,
that on TikTok.
That's a great thing. I do that every day because it's so easy.
That's great. Yeah. Whenever you can incorporate conversation into the video like that is so smart. So on my TikTok, I do for my other project, my Creative Stories podcast, I use it as a way to answer questions from people because they'll pick questions in the comments of a different video of mine. And then I'm answering, but in that process, people are getting to know, like, and trust me through that. Now, I'm not doing it strictly for that, but that's the result you get from that. That's part of the big picture because it's a real person answering real questions. And through video, people can decide, like, I really like this person. And that likability can really show through on video. But that I did not realize you could do that on those other platforms. So thanks for letting me know. See, we're all learning things from each other. This is exactly why I do this, because like I know a lot, but I also like to learn from others. And I always learn a lot from Jason. When you come on our spaces in the past, all my various spaces, I couldn't do just one. I had to do a whole bunch. I'm going to play this other clip from Mari. This one's really short, but she talks about live streaming, and y'all know I'm a big fan of live streaming. This is something that has been underutilized for so long. I'm still surprised that more people aren't doing it. I know people are doing it now, but I got into it, so long ago. I was actually live streaming before it was really a thing. I was live streaming when I used to do music business stuff, and I used to put on these big events. I was live streaming. I was doing it like in 2000, 2001, I think. Deborah, I know you're in the comments. Deborah was part of that with me. Barbona, if you remember all that stuff, but I was using Ustream, the letter Ustream. That used to be, and the video quality was so bad because it was so new, but it was so freaking cool. No, maybe not 2000. I'm going too far back. Maybe it was 2008 or 9. It started getting more popular in 2010 and 11. But it was so much fun doing all that back then. And then in 2018, I was teaching a program. I called it Video Like a Rock Star, and trying to help people get more comfortable doing live streaming or just any kind of video. Because back to what I was saying earlier with the Twitter Smarter, the old school Twitter chat before Spaces, when I was doing the Twitter Smarter chat, I want to say it was like 2016, 2017, when Facebook Live was becoming a thing. And nobody was doing it. And I'm like, you know what? How about after the Twitter Smarter chat, I invite the guest to come on a Facebook Live with me so we can continue the discussion. They can see us on screen, interact like what we're doing here. And I did that for several years. So for several years, Twitter Smarter chat was still at 1 o'clock Eastern. As soon as it was over, about 2 o'clock Eastern, we'd all move over to Facebook and do a Facebook Live. And I was shocked at how many of my guests had never done a live stream before. So that's why in 2018, I decided to teach a program. And now all these years have passed, and it's like, why aren't more people doing this? I'm just really surprised because it's such a great way to share information like what we're doing right here. And I know everybody's different, but if I recorded this each week, I would be like, wait a minute, I got to edit this. I got to do that. Whereas with a live stream, it is what it is. There's no editing. And I love that. I think it's like, for me, it's easier to do and it's less work. So I'm always going to be advocating that more people should live stream. Let me just play this short little clip of Mari talking about that.
The top of the feed. And one other content type I want to mention here on organic, Mike, is live streaming. It feels like live streaming kind of plateaued and maybe tapered off a bit, but I'm hearing and seeing that there's some tremendous uptick about to happen with live shopping. Live shopping is making a big comeback thanks to the app called Whatnot. Everybody's going gaga for this app called Whatnot. Maybe Facebook will buy them. But I've been seeing that live works really well for any businesses that are doing like arts and crafts, demonstrations, cooking, DIY, or sharing their screen, something where there's something for people to kind of like see and engage with and do a demonstration, instruct.
I love all these points that she makes. I mean, live stream can be utilized in so many different ways. Jason, you've been live streaming, like you've been doing your Spaces chat for quite a while, your Bunsen and Beaker X Spaces, but then a while back, I noticed, wait a minute, he is doing his Spaces and simultaneously doing a live stream version of it too. And I was like, whoa, are you still doing both like that? Or have you transitioned to just live streaming, or how are you doing it right now?
No, we still do that. So our pet chat is every Saturday, and I've hooked it up through technology and StreamYard. So our pet chat show runs with Spaces, audio only, and then we live stream to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So like right now, I've piggybacked off yours, Madalyn, and it's streaming to our audience. And my stats for you, there's over 1,200 people that have been watching just on ours. So like live stream is a big deal, right?
That's awesome. Wow. Thank you for like adding your social media to this live so that we could pull this out, reach out to more people live right now, which is so cool. I really appreciate you doing that. Bez, I know you have a comment about live streaming and shopping. Why don't you share? Because I know like we're hearing a lot about, at least I'm hearing a lot about this whole live shopping thing, which has actually been a thing for a while. Like Amazon's been doing it for years, but I just haven't seen people really gravitate to doing it. It hasn't really grown, I don't think. But Gary Vaynerchuk is all about, like he said, 2025 is going to be the year that live shopping explodes. So Bez, what are your thoughts on all this?
Well, you guys probably know Billy Thorpe. Had a fishing podcast, then he sold it to his partner, and he went to got into the Amazon influencer program. So doing a lot of branded deals, shoppable, and he's doing Whatnot as well. So he gets a lot of things. He does over 6 figures in shoppable live streaming. It's a high frequency type of a workflow that he has. And right now, like in the beginning, Amazon, he was doing good, but he was sharing with us the other day that he's down $8,000 for the whole year. Amazon sort of throttled it back.
I heard,
yeah. So he's saying that you just got to figure out on different platforms, get really good. You know what he's saying? The next thing is go to your local business and tell them that you're going to help them blow out some of their stuff and get rid of their inventory by doing a live stream with them. He goes, people aren't doing that, but that's the next thing, right? Because when I put on my TV and I'm on Amazon Prime, I see last night I was like, oh, there's this shoppable thing. You can see people shop on your TV if you're, put up your, so I think you have to go in with realistic expectations, and know that Amazon is throttling it back now, and it's not the same.
But others are coming out because of that. And so Maury briefly mentioned, when she mentioned Gary Vaynerchuk, and she said Whatnot. So that's what Gary V's been pushing. It's an app, is Whatnot, WHATNOT, Whatnot. So I went and downloaded it the other day because he was raving. And like you can see, like this is on the main screen. Some of these are shopping. These are live shopping pages right now. It's just, to me, it's just like TikTok shop. So if you're ever on TikTok and you see all people selling stuff, it's the same thing.
But it's you're not going to sell something you want to sell at a high price. It's usually you're trying to blow stuff out, and it's you're bringing the price way down. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
See, people are just selling stuff.
Yeah, you can blow stuff out. Yeah,
it's a total thing. So WHATNOT, Whatnot. Just go into the App Store, whether you're on Android or Google, and just type in one word, WHATNOT. Anything that Gary says, I pretty much keep an eye on because, he's rarely wrong with stuff. He predicts a lot of things that have happened in digital marketing. I really don't want to get into the digital shopping, but I'm keeping an eye on it because I think it's interesting. And
but there's a derivative of that. Sorry for interrupting you. There's a derivative of that, branded deals now because, or brand deals, because right now, big companies who would pay 250,000 for an agency to do a video, and it gets 130, 140 views, and they spend 150, 250,000. They're realizing now that they can go to to anyone here on this stage, and that we're micro influencers. Or maybe Jason, do you have over 1 million?
No, we're about 500,000 across social media.
Oh, well, that's
That's
still pretty.
amazing.
It's surprising that they would call somebody a 500,000 a micro influence. Not even a, but you can make quite a bit of money. They're looking for these smaller influencers, even if you have 100 followers and they're really loyal. You're going to see B2B businesses come to you and say, hey, we want to do a deal with you. So be ready for that, because I think they're going to get away from those big agency deals that isn't giving them a good return. And they can do $1,000 deal with you for a month, and they probably get a better more than 150 views, right? Yeah. So watch out for that. That's going to be a thing. I'm hearing about that already.
Come talk to us, sponsors. Come talk to us.
Right?
Madalyn, Eileen Smith. I think she
Yes.
actually joined us, and she just announced on X this last week that she got approved for Walmart's program for selling.
Interesting. I think
On
we're going
there.
to see more of those,
And-
especially since the Amazon thing is throttling, like Bez was saying, because I knew a lot of people doing the Amazon one, and they're not very happy right now.
Exactly. I've been in it since the beginning. The thing, and there's 2 really good groups on Facebook about that very issue. It's going on right now. So I think Whatnot has, they're all wondering what's going to happen about TikTok. But I mean, what are they doing on there? The purpose is on Whatnot and being able to blow stuff out. But I will say, and what kind of made me press the button and said, oh, be careful, because you need to learn about doing deals with manufacturers reps, and that, because that's how the guys, all of the folks on Amazon got fleeced. All of the Amazon influencers, the areas where it really fell through for many of them is they just got snowed over by the manufacturers and ended up getting the short end of the stick. So you want to be really, really careful on that.
Well, have y'all
Yeah.
heard about that whole scandal with Honey? That Honey app?
Yeah.
Those videos have been all those influencers that were involved. They're all like, they didn't know what was happening either. And it's crazy how I always liked that Honey app. I had it for a long time. And it looks for discount codes when you're buying stuff. It's a great little shopping browser extension. But to just find out in these last few weeks with people coming forward and saying, Honey was doing very deceptive practices. So basically what Honey was doing, if anybody has a better way of explaining this, but my understanding is when you're clicking that, it's a post. If it's from an influencer, or an affiliate, they're supposed to get a cut of that, right? And instead, Honey is like cutting them out, because they're doing this weird thing at the last second when you press the button. And I don't know, am I even explaining it right? Does anybody know better about this? Because it sounds crazy.
The influencers were not getting what they were promised. Is the short long of it.
Because it was doing this invisible switch thing with the code to favor Honey.
They're just going to bury Honey with bad PR. That's what's happening. It's everywhere. It's all over social media.
I'm going to disconnect mine.
I disconnected. Well, I mean, I haven't used it in a while, but after seeing these videos, if anybody wants to go know more, just go into YouTube and just type in Honey. I don't know what would be Honey.
Honey scandal.
Honey scandal. There you go. I was trying to think of the right word. Especially when you had who's that real big one? Marquez. How do you say his name? That y'all know who I'm talking about, right? He did one the other day. I've already seen some, but he's the biggest. He's that one that does all the tech stuff. I think it's letters M, but I think it was pronounced it like Marquez.
No, sorry.
Okay, I'll have to go find it. But we're already going over our time. I want to show one more clip from Maury's interview because she talked about something very interesting that I did not know much about. I've been hearing about, but didn't really know when she breaks it down. So have y'all been hearing about this professional mode on Facebook for personal profiles? Have y'all been hearing about that? Because I've been hearing about it, but I didn't really venture into it. So I'm a good example of this. So y'all, I've been on Facebook forever. And with your Facebook personal profile, you can only have up to 5,000 Facebook friends. Facebook decided long ago that you cannot possibly know 5,000 people. So when you hit the 5,000 mark, you can't add any more people. Well, being that I was in the music business for 20 plus years, and when I was on Facebook, I knew so many people, and so many people knew me. So I used to hit that 5,000 mark. And then besides that, also teaching social media and digital marketing. And then, I mean, I've been building online communities since the mid 90s. So people know me online. They follow me. I like to follow a lot of them back. And, personal profile. So of course, at the time, we'll just get a page. I did the page. Pages were great for a while, but I'm sure some of y'all that are old school like me remember watching where your pages, when somebody followed your page, everybody saw it. And then you watched it dwindle down to the point that it was so low because they wanted you to buy ads. It was incredibly frustrating. It's like, well, I'm not going to sit here and buy in a bunch of ads because Facebook is dictating that people that follow my Facebook page, I have to pay ads for them to still see it. That's wrong. So I mostly just use my personal profile, but still having that 5,000 thing. And I hated it because I'd go to a conference, meet a bunch of people, and I wanted to be able to follow them back. So I hated doing this, but I used to have to do this periodic. Y'all have seen these posts before on Facebook where somebody says, I'm sorry, I got to delete some of y'all because I got to make room so I can follow some new people I just met. And I would do that every once in a while, but just unfollow people that weren't active or people I didn't really truly know. And I hated doing that. I had to do that so many times. And then I just got to a point, I just said, I'm not going to deal with it anymore. So I stopped doing it. And I still don't really use my Facebook page much. I'm more about the personal profile. So Maury talks about this professional mode, and I've been hearing stuff about it, and I find it intriguing. Bez, I see you commented in our private chat that you changed to it long ago. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I ran into the same problem. I've had a long life, and that's part of knowing more than five. My wife can't fathom that. She goes, "Nah, you don't have 5,000 friends." I'm like,
but when you go through the friends list, because I used to say to myself,
Yeah.
there's no way I really know. And I would go through the list. I'm like, oh my God, I know all these people. And then I get that occasional like, well, wait a minute, I don't really know them. And so I'm like, okay, I can remove that. But no, yeah, you're so right. Like,
look, I mean, maybe in my 20s I didn't know
Right.
people, but I've lived in many states. I've been involved in Rotary for a long time, so now I got 1.4 million brothers and sisters, right? So now I don't go around and follow them, but when I start in that world and I'm doing stuff, all of a sudden I get from all over the world connection requests. And so I love the professional because it lets you go past the 5,000. But you mentioned something really quick here about the pages and how it used to go, blow up and then it dwindled down. Billy was talking about that. All these platforms do that. They try to push out one of their properties or products, and they let you, they incentivize you, or they say, hey, go here. We're going to give you a lot of love. What you're doing for them is building their platform so they can go back and then charge you for ads later. So just make sure you're grabbing people's emails, right? Because you're building for them, and the pages were great. And then what do you pages? You they don't give them love anymore, right?
Yeah. No, definitely don't. Deborah was asking, she said in the comments about professional mode, you got to pay. I didn't realize you have to actually pay for that. We'll listen to this clip. My understanding is it's a new feature. I mean, maybe it's a different kind of professional mode. If you have a personal profile, because they acknowledge that a lot of people like myself have used it kind of like business, even though it's a personal profile. So it's a way where you can change the mode and you can get analytics and you can get other things. So let me play this clip so y'all can listen to this. And I mean, again, this episode of this podcast with my friend Maury Smith just came out this morning. Like this is brand new, but I was listening to it on my walk this morning, out walking my dog, and y'all listen and see if y'all, maybe I'm missing something here.
File. Let's talk about this thing called professional mode. Not everyone's going to understand what it is. So talk to us a little bit about what it is and what some of the features are, because it seems as if Facebook is really looking to try to get creators, human beings, right, that are not necessarily brands, on the platform. And it seems like this professional mode is for them. I don't know.
You're absolutely right. So it was first rolled out, I want to say late 2021, kind of an experimental mode, and then slowly but surely rolled out to pretty much everybody in the world, as far as I know. And you're absolutely spot on. Facebook came up with this concept to appeal to those entrepreneurs, creators, solo professionals, maybe small business, personality-based business, that kind of thing, who either were not using a Facebook page at all, never created one, not using it, or had kind of given up on it, or it kind of had plateaued, or they were never likely to really buy any ads. So it's like, okay, fine, let's meet them where they are. And you can just flip a switch and it's on your mobile or desktop. It's under the 3 little dots and it will say, turn on professional mode. If it turns out you don't like it, you can switch back to what they call classic mode or main mode. Now, why would you use it? Features, OMG, you're going to get metrics. You get a professional dashboard. It is the closest thing you're going to get to a business page, but personal. So you can still post to friends only or specific friends. You're still locked down in private. It's just that everything you post to public is basically anybody can follow you. As many public followers as you want, and you will get access to metrics. You'll see.
Let's slow down just so everybody's clear. A follower versus a friend, right? So this is a lot of people don't want to make friends with strangers. Well, you put on professional mode, that'll be the default option, right, for them to follow you. And those followers obviously are going to be notified. Now, I mean, and there's a lot of people that struggle because they say to themselves, I only use Facebook for personal stuff. I guess you could create a secondary account and make it your professional account, or do you not recommend that?
No, you're not supposed to have more than one account necessarily. You're supposed to, the rules are, if you really want to stick with them, I know a lot of people do break the rules, but you're supposed to have one individual account in your own real name. And then they do a little while ago, I don't know if it's going to stay or not, but they have this whole sub account thing, but you can only have professional mode on the main account. You couldn't have professional mode on the other ones. So you could absolutely still continue to use your profile really kind of locked down and, just specific friends. You can even actually, I was talking to one of my clients yesterday where there's a setting where you can choose to, like Zuckerberg, if anybody goes to facebook.com/Zuck, you'll see you can't add them as a friend. So you can lock it down where actually nobody can add you as a friend. The only thing they can do is follow you. Because when you switch to professional mode, people still can send you a friend request. What happens though is that they'll be sitting there as a pending friend, but they'll also immediately become a follower. So there's definitely advantages. I've gone back and forth over the last couple of years where I've had it on professional mode. I saw a massive spike in my reach, and then it kind of slowly tapered off after 6 months or so. So I switched back, and then right now I'm in a phase where I'm really enjoying professional mode again.
What do y'all think of that? I mean, that's intriguing to me. After all the things I said about how I use Facebook, I just pretty much utilize my personal profile.
I mean, the lines between your personal life and you doing business is really how whatever boundaries you set and can get very muddied, because at the end of the day, people want to do business with a person, right? Not an AI, not a brand per se. Why are brands going to people? Why are brands going to you who have 200 followers instead of another brand? Because you're like LinkedIn, like all these platforms, you are the center. Like if you went to start a Facebook page or a LinkedIn company page, everything starts with your personal profile. And LinkedIn went the same way. They had a 30,000 cap. Then they realized, people are doing 2 profiles, and that's against terms of service. You could really get banned off the platform, but people were doing it. And so they went with the follow. Now you have millions. Who cares? So I think we start. I think it makes some people uncomfortable. But when I did a post on LinkedIn, and someone did help me optimize my LinkedIn profile, and I came up as number 3. So that was cool. But then I got to think, hey, I have to be careful to what I put out there because everything's discoverable.
Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's good. Did anybody have any other thoughts on this? I'm intrigued. I'm going to definitely play around with that now that Maury explained it so well. I have a better understanding of this.
I'm going to have to review Maury and Stelzner's interview in depth, but I will tell you that it was just yesterday that I came across that we are now allowed to have 4 profiles attached. We can choose 3 more profiles attached to our profile, and three more personas.
But Maury was talking about individual, like, let me go create a whole nother personal profile, which they've always said you're not supposed to do.
But they're doing that. That's what I'm saying. That it was I think it was yesterday they announced it. I'll have to find it. But because it was basically you can create, like, if all my stuff for balloon, I'm into ballooning and I have a lot involved with that. And so I could have one just for those friends for ballooning, and it's still all attached to my main profile, but I have an alternative persona that they attach to it. And that again is a concern about how they're counting, because if I have 4 total and I join one of my the 3 others, if I join one to all my ballooning friends, if I join one to all my social media friends, and I am adding content to their groups, I'm adding content to their pages, it should count. But it's going to skew numbers because it's like I'm 4 people.
Right.
So I think they've got some serious issues. And then, oh, by the way, I'm going to soon be able to click a button and I can have my AI do it. And that's where it's really going to get scary.
I have multiple personalities. It's got to be more than 5. So I'm not joking. I mean, you got branded accounts.
Ditto.
I mean, I have an interest here, there, and everywhere, and it's got to be more than 5.
Yeah.
Well,
up to 4 additional.
Yeah,
okay, Larry. Thank you.
Under your account, and they can represent different things about you, your interest in community. That's cool. That I did not know you could do that. Cindy Lou, we need to start wrapping up. Do you have any thoughts on this whole thing with this professional mode? I'm so intrigued. I'm definitely going to play around with
I know. I just went over to see, and I had switched to it, but I have not fully explored it. So I'm going to do some exploring, and I will bring you back a report for next week.
I would love that. Y'all, this is
why I can get up early enough.
Yeah, I know, because for anybody who doesn't know, Cindy Lou's all the way over in New Zealand, where it's tomorrow morning. So early. It's early in the morning there. We appreciate you coming on, be one of our regulars here. But this is why I do this, because we can all learn from each other and help each other. And I came across this episode today that Maury was on, and I found all this information she shared. Fascinating. So I was just pulling all the best nuggets to share with y'all. We don't have time. There was one more where she talks about analytics. We just don't have time. What's that, Bez? What are you showing us?
Those are the analytics of the professional and dashboard, right? So on your profile, when you go to your profile, professional dashboard, you click on it, you can see all sorts of insights. It has insights, it has content. Like you can interact with your content from there instead of trying to find it. It has growth, engagement. So they give you all these tools, and even monetization, like how can you make money, like stars and subscriptions and ads on your reels. I mean, I haven't, believe me, I'm 1% through the 99 other percent of stuff I need to go through here, but there's a lot of stuff. And I noticed it because I had a friend that was making money off their Facebook profile, like a lot of money, but they had to focus on Facebook.
Interesting. Wow. This is such an interesting topic. Jason, we'll wrap up with you. I appreciate you coming on. I know you're not always able to as a teacher, but with it being the holidays, you're always able to come on, whatever it is I'm doing. I love that. And shout out to all your friends and community members that are watching this live right now. Thank you for putting this out to your community. So hello to everybody in the all these are Bunsen and Beaker accounts, right, Jason?
Yeah. It's on Facebook and Twitter right now, or X. Yeah.
I love your community. And I don't know if y'all could hear my dog. I have a husky, a 3-legged husky. She's amazing. And I could hear her whining a little bit through the door. So she does that sometimes whenever you watch videos of me. If you ever hear a whining dog, that's my husky. She doesn't bark, but sometimes she's like, be done with whatever you're doing, Mom, because I want to get in my little comfortable chair that's right next. She loves this chair right next to me. But I can't have her in here when I'm live streaming because she thinks I'm talking to her, and then she starts harassing me, and I can't do this. But what's your thought on this professional mode as we wrap up? Because I'm very intrigued by it.
We have that mode for Instagram and Facebook. And it is excellent for analytics. We got 6 months ago into the monetization part of Reels, and it's been exceptionally good for our family. And then also on Facebook too. So you're right, Bez. Magnitude's better than monetization through X for less followers. So the good thing about the analytics too is you can see what your best performing posts are, and they actually have little prompts that's like, hey, this was good, make another one. And that is the key to being a good creator on Meta, is that if you have a hit, you just keep pumping out similar hits until those hits dry up. And maybe it's not the most creative thing, but boy, does it work.
That's awesome. Great advice. Thank you all so much for joining, and appreciate all the people that are tuning in live as well. Or if you're watching the replay of this, be sure to sign up for my new community. It's a private community over at Skool. It's skool.com/Madalyn Sklar. It's basically this: social media and AI shortcuts, but where we can keep conversations going, where I'm able to, I actually do share a lot more information over there. And it's also a way for you to be able to share with the community as well. We're all there to help each other and learn from each other. So be sure to sign up. There's no charge. It's free. And it's just been really cool just hanging out with all of our cool friends, because I was doing this as Spaces chat, but that's just on X. And so many of our friends throughout the years with the Twitter Smarter Chat community that I ran for almost 10 years are all over social media, but not necessarily on X anymore. So I thought, with this new pivot to social media and AI shortcuts, I thought, what? I can be broadcasting this live. I'm on Facebook right now. Hello to all my Facebook friends watching on my personal profile, my YouTube friends, and also on X. So hello to everybody. Thank you for being here. We're wrapping up. As soon as this is over, you can watch the replay if you missed any of it. We covered a lot today. We talked about all kinds, but some really interesting Facebook stuff. So this has been great. We do this every Thursday, so y'all be sure to join us next week. Have a great rest of your day. Happy New Year to everybody. And thank you for my panelists for joining. If you're a regular from the chat, from the past, or you're in our Skool community, you'll be able to come in our StreamYard chats here. I'll definitely be happy to, if you'd like to come on screen and chat with us, just send me a message, let me know. And then next week or any of the other weeks in the future, I'll be happy to bring you on. So that's it for today. See y'all later, guys.